Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world-famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Fantastic. I got to go see my first hockey game of the year while watching the 49er game over someone's shoulder while they were watching it on their phone.
And who was the person that was watching it on their phone that you were watching over the shoulder?
The play-by-play announcer for the Sharks had their cell phone on their table watching the game. And yeah, it was an awesome experience. So how are you doing, Ozzy?
I'm doing fantastic. Can you describe the hockey jersey you have on today?
Yes, it is the Birds. So yeah, cool. It's the newest one from our geeky jerseys, and it's probably one of my favorites at this point. So they did a good job on this one.
Do you have a jersey count?
Huh?
Sorry?
Do you have a jersey count? How many jerseys you have?
Last I checked, I was at like 62. So
you're like just under Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
You have one for each week of the year and then some.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I love it. So, although my next thing is trying to find one for each holiday. There's a few I'm short on. Like there's a Captain America jersey I want to get that's, for 4th of July. But I at least got Easter covered with the Buddy Christ. So
there you go.
Excellent. Looking forward to that one. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Flesh Wound producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
I'm chilling.
Fantastic. Glad to hear it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this week we are reviewing and discussing Reliance, which was actually released this year, just a couple of weeks ago, available on Hulu. Todd, do you have a trailer available? And if you do, can you please roll it?
Hi. Are you the actor Andy Samberg? I am. I'm a big fan, man. Oh, thank you very much. Hey, I got a question for you. You want to get in? Thomas Walcott, single, no children, no dependents. Job is network management, physically fit. Guess they're not too strict about that one. I'm joking. Kind of serious, though.
You have been selected to partake in the biggest reality show in the dark web. There will be people trying to kill you, the hunters.
What are you talking about? There's people trying to murder me? Oh, shit. Very much so.
You will have 30 days to survive. You will only be killed when you are alone.
So let me get this straight. You cannot touch me if I'm with someone, and then I get $1 million. What are you doing?
What are you doing, man? Why'd you leave my side? I had to take a shit. Why didn't you wake me up and bring me with you? Because I'm taking a shit.
Let's play.
What the fuck is this?
This is James, my new friend.
He pays me to shadow him.
You cannot have this person sleeping in mom's house.
Are you gonna shadow me?
No.
Are you gonna shadow me?
No. Shit.
Are you gonna shadow me?
I don't want to take away James's job. Aren't there other people playing the game who could hang out with you?
Just say it. You're not gonna.
No, I'm not gonna murder you. Are you gonna murder me?
No, I want to be on the same team as you.
You want to spend all our time together after knowing me for 5 minutes?
Let's fucking win together. They can't kill us if we're together, right?
Stop.
Okay.
Good night. I hope no one murders either of you.
Wake up. You are not as safe as you think you are.
Hi, guys.
Why are you playing the game?
I guess I did it because I want to be around people more.
I think we did it for the same reason.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but the game is a comedy.
How's it a comedy? They're trying to fucking kill us.
Just get in the car.
You been having fun?
Did you just ask if I was having fun?
Yes.
No.
And that was the trailer for Self-Reliance, again available on Hulu, released on January 12th of this year, 2024, rated R with a runtime of 85 minutes, written and directed by Jake Johnson, starring Jake Johnson himself, Biff Whiff, and Anna Kendrick. Initial thoughts on this, I'd seen posters of this whenever I logged into any Fire Stick or anything. That was actually the first thing that was recommended for me to watch, was this Self-Reliance, and it wasn't
a guy in a TV show. Who would have thought?
The strangest thing. That we'll get into that shortly, but I was kind of nervous because whenever we get a comedy that is as requested from the Flesh Wound Farce audience, 68% of the time, it's usually chosen to give myself an aneurysm. So I'm glad that wasn't the case this time. I was pleasantly surprised. Initial thoughts, I mean, pleasantly surprised with this film, even though I had no idea it even existed before you guys brought it up. Todd?
Yeah, it actually got a one-night theatrical screening too. I wasn't able to make it. I was out of town. That's actually where I found out about it, because I saw the trailer in a theater. And then I found out, well, it comes out on Hulu like 10 days later, I think it was. So I was looking forward to it. So when we got the request, I don't really have initial thoughts on this, because it's just how I came to it. I mean, well, like,
those are the initial thoughts.
Yes, I
know. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. But there we go. The story of how this review came to be.
Yes. But like, so going into it like completely blank, other than seeing like the trailer, it caught me off guard. I wasn't really sure. I like some of the other stuff the Lonely Island, guys have done film wise, and this was up there with like a Hot Rod or some of the other stuff. I did really enjoy this one.
Yeah, Greg.
Thoughts.
Yeah, this one, I seen the recommendation, whenever I'd pop on stuff, and so after watching the trailer, I was like, okay, that looks fun. And then when Christopher Lloyd popped up, I was like, well, I want to watch this now. And luckily, this was recommended, so I definitely had a good excuse. But it's definitely a mixed bag feeling for this film. Like, it had fun, that's for sure. And it definitely had some moments, but I have to say I'm glad we watched it, at least that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think the trailer we saw had a little bit too much, not credit, but I don't know if there's a term for it. Todd, maybe you could help me out, but when they advertise Drew Barrymore as being in Scream, I don't know if there's a word for that, but
well, that's a little different than what you're going with. This is more the Danny Trejo thing, where you expect him to be in the whole movie, and instead you get him 30 seconds because they paid him $200. That's the kind of thing we have with the Andy Samberg thing. I'm assuming that's where you're going. No,
I was actually going with Anna Kendrick, because they're him and Anna Kendrick are fantastic together, and it's like, well, it was about like a third of the movie.
I was going to say
that's like a third of the movie.
That's a good portion. I don't feel like that's a misdirect in the trailer.
Well, but at the same time,
maybe 38%.
I kind of do agree with Ozzy, because I think that, spoilers, are we worrying too much since this is fresh?
Well, if you can go with whatever we saw at the trailer, because I wasn't going to mention Christopher Lloyd, because that was like a shocker when you saw him, but then it's mentioned.
Well, we still don't know where.
Yeah,
why.
That's a true point.
So, I guess without trying to make too much of a spoiler, like, I wish we saw more of her at the end, and I think because there was definitely points that were around for that, and then without that presence, sometimes you just get a monologue of things, and you just wish you kind of got more substance there with that connection.
I get that, but at the same time, I think with the way the movie ended and the way movie began and the way the movie ended, it definitely felt like you were observing him and his development into his final arc and character. Whereas I think if we maybe saw a little bit more, it would be less about him and more about the both of them, you know, and more like relationship-esque. So I think that's the reason as to why they didn't want to include a lot of her, because even the scenes with her in it were really funny, or you know, that helped move the story along. But I thought more of a pleasant surprise was Biff with the playing Henry, who turned out to be Walter. That was some great stuff. But going into the funniest moments, and this is tough because I always joke around because, you know, stuff happens, and I think to myself, there's no way this is not being filmed. Where's a laugh track? This is the moment for these things to happen. And so when he's picking up what appears to be a piece of red shit, it's like, this is a camera. And his staunch belief that this potential, I mean, like, okay, yeah, we've later found out, yeah, it is a camera, but everybody thinks it's a piece of red shit that he's holding, saying it's a camera.
Right.
Just was, it wasn't like a laugh out loud kind of funny to me, but more like a internally I was dying because, you know, I played around with that idea before. So to see it played with in this fashion was really, really funny to see. Todd?
Oh, picking my favorite. There's a line that's kind of like just so effed up. I don't even really want to say it, but
well, now you built it up too much. So
I know. Now I kind of have to. It's when she's talking about her dad and how he died. Oh, it was a drunk driver. He was a drunk driver. just like, yeah. So I don't know. I was like, damn, that's effed up. But another thing, I just want to. Well, you know, Greg, go first because I don't think it's funniest moment, but it's something that drove me. Just go ahead, Greg. Come back.
So I thought you were actually going to take mine, Ozzy, and I think it's in the same vein. And when I saw this, I was like, you know, especially people who are around entertainment, like, feel this feeling when he had his intervention moment and he was telling the truth of like stories that happen and nobody believed him. I was like, there's so many times in life I tell stories and I go, you know, people probably are like, this guy's full of crap, you know, but I'm like, no, we just live crazy lives, you know? And I was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to relate to this. And I took extreme pleasure and frustration from that scene.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also some fantastic stuff during the intervention. Todd, you were saying to go back to you?
Yeah, the one thing is when he's going to talk about after someone tries to attack him and he's going to tell the security, he's like, what was he wearing? It was like, yeah, the Thriller jacket with all the zippers. I was like, when they had the guy step in, I was like, thank God, I'd let the stress go away because it was driving me. And I knew they did it on purpose, but they have the guy do it. I was like, oh.
They did that for people like you, Todd.
Yes, 100%. I'm so glad they did it. If not, I would have been talking shit about how they screwed up the jackets. It's like when I catch like a 95 VHS tape and it's supposed to be like 1989. I'm like, hey, this isn't right.
Right. So
I had to bring that up.
Before I go into the rating of this, I thought what was kind of amusing was as I'm watching this in the living room, my girlfriend was doing stuff, cleaning up around the living room, and then she eventually sat down on the couch and watched. And she had said, it didn't suck like most of the movies you need to watch.
I wonder if it's because it's modern. This has a modern sensibility.
I think it helped. I think because, like, you know, we've talked about how like modern and older movies there's a pacing difference between the two. Now modern movies have such a quicker pacing because they need to keep up the attention span of so many people. But I think it just also was a better. Well, it was more than just like humor. It was actually well written and really enjoyable and really kept you intrigued. like almost that of a thriller, right? Where you wanted to keep seeing what was going to happen next, and you're kind of speculating as to what the ending was going to be, which is not normally something you get in a comedy. So it was kind of fun to have that with it. But just in the moments where you would feel, incredibly tense, and then it would just be something incredibly ridiculous, like a fat sumo wrestler popping out from the dark corner, like
right,
just stuff like that was that's
the
like the epitome of that time movie. The bathroom scene, exactly. Like
that might be my favorite moment, but I didn't take it because I didn't know if Greg was going to take it. That was, I mean, because
it was up there.
That's tons of laugh out loud moments in that scene.
Yeah,
yeah, no. It was absolutely fantastic. So I felt that it was a little short, and we could have gotten a little bit more because there was a lot of stuff that they, when they were trying to explain like the backstory behind everything what was going on. I felt there was an opportunity to give like a little bit more, and that's probably some scenes that were left on the cutting room floor. Hulu only wanted 90 minutes, so that's all you got. So I could understand that. So if there was an extended director's cut released, actually, I'd be interested in seeing an extra like 15, 20 minutes, because I think there's some things in there that they probably played with that didn't make the final cut. So only for that, it's tough because a lot of it presents itself as like it tries to be an actual movie instead of just a comedy. And I appreciate that, but it kind of does take away a little bit from the humor. Whereas a movie that's going from humor, from beginning to end, like a Dumb and Dumber kind of thing. So for that, I'm just going to, it's still a good rating. I'm going to give it 4.5. I really had a good time with it, but not giving it that perfect score just because it wasn't that 100% like comedy, but at the same time, like even if they did want to go more like of a hybrid, like interspace, so to speak, giving me like a little extra, like 15, 20 minutes more of like more into this story that they've begun to tell me in this universe that they built or whatever, of, this TV show on a dark web or whatever. I would like to see some extra stuff, but still fantastic. And I'll definitely watch it again. Todd?
I agree. Yeah, you had your whole little spiel. I thought you were going to give it like a 3. I was like, but I'm actually at a 4.5 also, without a hesitation.
So I'm gonna spoil this. Unfortunately, it's not bad. Like I agree with you. Like in, I just don't feel it picked a lane, and like trying to have the suspense of what was going on with it. Like I never actually felt there were, outside of when the Thriller Jacket guy came through, like I never really felt he was in that much danger. So the suspense of that part of it never captured me to like feel that side of it enough. And likewise, it didn't go comedy enough to excuse that, so it was fun. Like, I'm definitely glad we watched it. I enjoyed it. I had some laugh out loud moments, but I'm just going to keep it at a 3.5. So but it's good film. Just it didn't capture
you would recommend it to people.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely at least one-time watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it is available.
Our old stuff. It's a rent it.
Well, it is available on Hulu. You don't even need to worry about renting it or buying it. You could stream it right now. Available on Hulu, unless you're watching this 20 years from now and they don't have it available on the streaming service. Or if the
you better have that physical media.
yeah. Get the physical media if you come across one. Hopefully it has a director's cut on it. All right, so before we head out for the evening, Todd, do you have any announcements in terms of what's going on in the world of Flesh Wound Horror?
If you guys haven't watched our Best of 2023 and Flesh Wound Awards show, go check it out. It was last Wednesday. It was very fun. And yeah, that's just our weekly Wednesday shows. Check them out. I don't know what we have this week, but check it out.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. And of course, if you're in the Orange County area and would like to check out a night of trivia hosted by me, you're welcome to do so every Monday in Lake Forest, the Rushmore Grill, beginning at 6:30. Every Tuesday at the Brewery in Placentia, beginning at 7 o'clock. Wednesdays in Griffin's Grill at Los Alamitos, rather in Griffin's Grill. No, at Griffin's Grill in Los Alamitos. There we go, beginning at 7:30. And lastly, every Thursday at the Honey Pot Meadery, beginning at 7:30 p.m. every song has something to do with the question. And there is the tournament season going on with the top 60 teams being invited to an in-person tournament at the end of the 18-week season. So get on that. Best team name, keep coming back, best shot to win. Always free, always fun, and always me at these places. So there we go. Greg, do you have anything?
Oh, just if you're a Packers, Cowboys, or Eagles fan, enjoy your golf. That's all. That's all.
Greg, the resident San Francisco 49ers fan, enjoying his victory this weekend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for world-famous juggler Greg Larson, Fleshroom producer Todd, I'm Oz AV, and we'll see you next week right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.